Hey, good morning, my hippies. You got the lady hippie at the bar again this morning. Yeah, it's been one of them days. I know it's early. Actually, it was such a day that I did, and once again, I just didn't want to see the news. Again, I don't watch the political channels that call themselves news. CNN, ABC, NBC. Yeah, it used to be good things, but I don't know what the heck happened to them or why we are actually still watching them. It's like they said on Drawing the Curtain when you go to vote, which doesn't actually count anyway. But when you draw the curtain, because you know what I mean, if you're wearing the hat, the t-shirts on your car, fence at your house, everybody knows which way you're going to vote. And pull that little curtain up. It's just somehow funny to me to see people doing this. I see our background has to come down just a wee bit. Some of it is a little bit different on sound. I don't know why they do that, but they do, and I like a little bit of background in there. And of course, here and there, I like everybody have a chance to look at something. I put my roses off in the back. My house looks so long from this way. I'm going to get my mic back a little bit. Let me see if we can treble down a little. It's getting closer to putting my daughter on my live webcams is what I put it in. I don't know what the heck to call it other than going live on YouTube. I still use my phone as a phone. I'm just saying, it's not rocket science. It rings, I answer it, no problem. I still use the key to get in the house. I don't use my phone. And if I need something at the bank, my husband's always kind enough to stop in there for me. I heard again this they want to go to electronic money. I was like, and who's lining up for that idiocy? I mean, it's really. They were worried about things getting in and to your information without actually making your money almost disappear basically, and anybody can do anything they want with it. Like the government make you okay, you got the money. Retirement, all that. So it's just gone. Yeah. I'm standing right in that line for them. Like the shots. People lined up in their cars and it's like, seriously? You guys are adding more of a problem to a problem there that isn't there. And then they allowed it to manipulate the population for 2.5 years here in the United States for this pandemic, which was no different than H1N1, which was on when Obama was in office, and I kept screaming, then it's a pandemic. Now suddenly I look back and I hear him saying, and one or two things that it's a pandemic, but it's under control or something to that effect because it was not treated like this one. And now once again they're trying. I call it fear factor for God's sakes, not this show. It's just the government. I mean, we already know billions was poured down the throat of Oprah, and all they did with the stuff was to make kilometers of tunnels, miles for our purposes here. And really, at what point did somebody not know what they were doing with that money? It's just you can't make this stuff up. You just can't. There's infestations of I don't know, some kind of thing everywhere. I've looked this once. Brave person. They filmed it while driving through it. It was wicked. It was. I don't know. I'll tell you what. I'd go with wicked, but scary. To me, anyway, I can't drive that well. Excuse me. And of course, once again, I probably did not put a napkin or a Kleenex or anything at the bar, which being an old woman, I kind of need every once in a while. And again, I want to remember, to tell all of you this is for entertainment purposes only. I'm going to be here all week, please. Y'all know. Throw something in those comments, guys. I need some feedback here. Where's the rest of the hippies? Come on, I really see some flower power. Might not be like it was in the 70s, but we had pretty good cars and music in the 70s and 80s. The 90s too, actually. That's when I switched to country. My husband learned square dance, line dance, and he was very good about it. And don't think he's probably thinking, God, well, she can't dance now. So we tend to look for comedy clubs. As a matter of fact, I love going to a comedy club or watching one. Cat Williams is one of my favorite. And again, it's on my bucket list. I'd like to go see him. He would be the only person that I would go see in public. There is nobody else that I would go through the checks and balances that you have to do and the expense to go get into a concert or stand up, whatever it is, whatever function it is. I'm not willing to go through that. When we went to concerts, we made sure we had our cigarettes and some beer money because that's what they sold. And we had a good time. Make sure you had a backup lighter. You had to have that backup lighter because you're doing this for 3 hours. So you could not take pictures though, not like now. Now you can. In my day, like seeing the Rolling Stones and going out there to see them in Dallas at the Cotton Bowl, and they wouldn't let us bring our cameras. And here I had this great camera, and I had come in on a bus with a bunch of others. It was the cheapest way to go, and I had won the tickets, so the radio station had provided that. And I mean, it was a great concert. You know, it was Rolling Stones and then backup floor band and all that. One of the few I didn't have a backstage pass to. I was just actually one of the people out in the audience, and still we all had to help each other back to the bus. Well, 21, 22. Wait a minute, where's 23? Oh, okay, they're in there already. Okay. It was that kind of concert. But nowadays it's not. And I'm not sure if I think they do still serve alcohol. I'm not sure if they do or not. They might still dispense it. I don't know. Um, it's just not like it was. And it's just too expensive and too much crap to go through to get a seat in the nosebleed section. If you're lucky and you can't move, if you have to go to a bathroom, you have no idea where those are. It's not one is the same as another. So it's like, but back in our day, we could tell where it was because there was a line for 3 miles. So girls were sneaking off in the men's room. I miss those days. And when in the backstage passes, like I said, those. And that's still the music that I see played for even my grandson's generation. They like it too. It was the background for many movies and commercials. Those same bands. And the other thing is, like, you think, wow, some of them were playing since the '60s and didn't quit until like 2010 or something. That's a long time in music. And it did let people down. I mean, like Steve Perry for Journey, I just adored him. And he stopped his career because his wife had come down with cancer. And his whole world, he's put on hold and to take care of his wife. And she did really well. I see she's going to do something here. Hey, you're very good. You better leave that fly alone. I'm going to come over there and I'm going to drench you. Sorry, folks. This is what I do every day. I fuss at the cats. Pixie's the one that likes to, as Pixie, she likes to push things off tables and not thinking I actually set them there. And the way she is, I know she won't give it up. No, she's walking off. Oh, thank you, Lord. I mean, because this one she's been the hardest to take care of or to keep whatever in the house. Because of that, everything has to go off whatever she sees, that's going to go off. And I'm like, oh, God. And yeah, I'm sorry. But my husband, try not to look up so close, I know. I had one of those days. I wish somebody could tell me what the blooming day is. I don't even know. I hadn't even looked. All I asked about was the weather. And there she goes again. She makes me nervous when she's running around. And at night I really can't sleep because I wonder what this cat's throwing at the floor. We're going to have to lock her out of my room because she go for the stuff on my dresser. And all of it's pretty much breakable. So I'm like, I'm going to keep her in the other rooms. And yet there are still things that she can still do that too. I'm hoping she hasn't found all of them, but she probably has. I had also asked a few people to say, Hank, Good morning. What's going on in the world? Anything good? Well, I don't know. Maybe it's the fact that, oh, see, even with arthritis, I was able to open my little bottle. And today's one of those days where I wouldn't mind a stiffener. I know it's a little early, but it's like they say 5 o'clock some freaking where. I don't know. One thing I'm looking forward to is again maybe on the 19th of this month is to interview my granddaughter. She wants to be interviewed, wants to be on the podcast. So I'm looking forward to doing that. And I'm hoping those who are watching me right now kind of look in. I try to do these around 10 or 11. I know I need to set an actual time, but I've checked myself. Gone through one of my televisions and turned on the YouTube, as I still like to say, and the YouTube. And if you hit search, it's like there's 30 of me right there on the top line. It's like, let's put the idiot of Tom Sewing. So this is the 20th broadcast. I have no other words for this that I've done, and I've enjoyed the crap out of it. It's amazing how you just sit and talk to yourself and look at yourself like you're in a mirror, and you're supposed to be entertaining, and you're thinking, I don't know if I can carry off that. At the same time, I'm just hyped about doing this. I mean, because it's a social media. Jump in there, guys. Tell me, hey, you know this, you know that. What do you think of this? Again, I don't want to plagiarize someone else, so I'm patiently waiting. It's not live chat running when I'm in, but I'm sorry, I haven't locked in a time. And it's harder, I know, for some people because, mm, oh, that was nice. Anyway, there's so much we could do, there's so much we could say, there's so much we could get together on. And I think maybe I should have added Woodstock to the title because to me it's like social media Woodstock. You know, Woodstock social media. I don't know how we put those words together there, but pick one. Tell me what would be cool. Yes, amazing. I still remember the 70s. They were freaking fun. So were the 60s for that matter, and the 80s and the 90s. Things started for me going downhill when we hit the 21st century, and I suddenly woke up and said, it's 21. I don't want to have drink today. It's like if you blink, suddenly it's another century and it's 20 years on, You're like, how the hell have I been this long? Let me find something I know. Yeah, no. They haven't changed your phone 3, 4 times a year. And he's always getting me a new phone. Bless his heart. I mean, it's very nice of him, but at that, I've kept like 100 phones because I haven't taken the pictures out yet, and it really upset me that my laptop blew because I couldn't save any of the pictures of the ice storm and all that. But I'm hoping they're on some of my memory chips, and I think that a lot of them might be. Um, I think they, especially the ice storm, because I'm pretty sure that was before 2010. And 2010, I mean, it was on. Everybody had to go, from analog to digital, and Robert, of course, he stays on top of all this stuff. I'm like, I can watch the same damn TV. I don't need a new TV. We got 15. And he's coming home with a 70 inch. You're like, where? There's a wall. There you go, the whole wall. I love the fact that he has it there mounted. I wait for him to do mine in the bedroom. Well, he hasn't mounted even his. He's had time. He's got a nice surprise for me. And by the way, happy Valentine's to everybody. Uh, Valentine's Day is a special day for lovers. So guys, if you're needing roses, go to Walmart. Go to Walmart. You do not have to pay $150 for 12 roses. I mean, you can go maybe get her to dinner or something else, as well as the roses. I mean, go to Walmart. They have everything nowadays. It's like Google. Took me forever to figure out that Amazon is really just a post office. You know, it's connected to every like store in the world, but it's really just a post office. And I remember, I'm a member. I've been a member for years and years now. Um, and finally, I was like, why is it costing us $40 to ship it and handling? They're across the street. You're like, oh, man, we'll go ahead and pay them anyway. And oh, I see. My poor butterflies. I love brown brooches. Barbara gets for me, and they just never want to cooperate. Again, I'll have somebody say, "When are you going to wear the same thing twice?" I'm like, "When I have to." Yeah, I don't have to yet. So, and on top of that, I'm never really sure if I've ever already worn it. I mean, it's like that with me. I mean, and Robert is very good. I love Burlington. That's where he gets my clothes, and I like him to pick the 40's damn good at it. And me, I pick up the worst thing in there, and it's like it's hideous. And had he not been there, I probably would have settled for that. And he goes over, finds the perfect thing, fits perfect. He's a great husband in that way. I mean, really, he is. It's easier for me. We got another anniversary coming up. And we're both going, seriously? I thought one of us would have killed the other one by now, for God's sake. You're still here. I mean, I've already taken out the mirrors. And it'll be leave your mirror at the door. At the phone. We're not taking pictures of this stuff, okay? After 50, you got to draw a line in case they hear no further. And we're like, I don't want a cake. I could look at a cake nowadays. I don't know what, all my life I could not gain weight. I didn't understand women who said, I can look at that and gain 10 pounds. I get it. I don't know how, but I get it. I was like, seriously? As far as say, but the rest of it goes, you've got all these wars. Everybody's saying nothing about the fact that we're at war. They're finding out that Joe Biden, and again, I can't give him the moniker that they're giving him, has classified documents at his house, or had them. There's only 10 or 12. Yeah, one too many. They didn't know if it's 10 or 12. It was. You'd be a civilian. Be wrong on your taxes. Now they weaponized and hired 88,000 new IRS employees. Weaponized. Repeat that word. Go to Google and look up the true definition. Don't take a knife to a missile fight, folks, because this is the way it is. I mean, if you've got to weaponize the IRS because you're stealing from the people, and the people are going, well, I wouldn't have sent $1 billion to terrorists. I don't want to support the UN. You got so many terrorists on the board that there's hardly anybody good. We're just the ones paying for it. I mean, Trump told the truth about that shit. And again, I'll probably have this taken down. They took down 2 of mine because I had something to say about my local water company and told everybody on that would see this, don't drink the water from your tap. Don't put it through a filter from the tap and think you're okay. You're not. You need distilled water. It's that bad. And it can't be just one city. And we're paying an extra 10 or 15 a month because they came up with the sewage storm fees, and supposedly was going to, replace water lines. Now, this house was built in 85. Now, you think about what's gone through that water pipe. Probably a lot. Now, how much of that you think they got scrubbed out? You think any of it might have stuck to the walls? Oh, you betcha. I mean, those big old things. Well, now they got about this much room for that water to go through because there's so much crud on all those pipes, all of them. I don't care if your pipes are only 2 years old. It's like that. I don't know what's going on, because the ancients could have done that and did do that better. The Romans come to mind, and they had taxes too. Same thing, Oh, we got to have this. We'll get them to pay for it. It's like, I can't keep that out of my head. That hey, I didn't know we were paying for that too, and I only get how much money a month? Are you sure? Sure. I could have sworn it was my money. How about some of the unemployment? Where'd that go? Anybody ask that but me? I never got a penny from unemployment. They never stopped taking it, but they ain't never gonna give it back. Well, what kind of Ponzi scheme is that? And what the hell are we doing allowing it? This is why they take me down because I talk just like I do, or all of us actually do, when we're at each other's homes or having a drink at the whatever, wherever socialization, I should say, comes about. These are the topics, you know. Why the hell are they taking more of our taxes? What happened to our money? And since we didn't touch it, when the hell are they giving it back? Same with the car insurance. Yeah, I don't even drive 50 miles a year. I still got to pay them 1,500 a year to keep my car on insurance. Otherwise, the government takes my tax, and you ain't going nowhere it is. Even when if you keep up, they don't have to see your license. You don't have to get out your car. All they got to do is beam you. It's the barcode. And they got everything from up to the last time you actually went out and took a driving test. They got all that. They got your retina. They got your, fingerprints, all that. Because I went through it a few years back. I had a 10-year license, and it had changed. And you had what they called a gold star on there, meaning they had all your biometrics on there. So yeah, they just need a little scan, and you're it. They just like, oh, we know who you are. I couldn't believe it. It's same with Social Security. I went through that like nothing. Robert did too, and yeah, I knew people that had to wait 4 months uh, after their husbands died or whichever, because almost I think all of the baby boomers have worked both couples, both the wife and the husband. So the other would inherit them some amount anyway. But it's just outright Ponzi scheme stuff. Just it's beyond belief. Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security. And this is why my father got so angry when they started, because I didn't have a clue, and I had a good education as far as I'm concerned. When I look at what the South had, and still this didn't come up. I remember getting my first Social Security card. It was in gold. It was really cool. Even my diploma was wallet size. One of those. I thought those were cool. But you drive around and go from one state to one country to another back and then another state, and you're gonna lose things. Usually in my case. And I was like, so I have no idea until I get up here to talk to everybody to say, hey, come talk to me at the bar. Let's do something about all of this crazy world. All of us have kids, grandkids. And you look around and you think, this is getting worse. This isn't getting any better. And I don't see it getting better for a long time. I can't believe they're actually still, that Biden is still using the federal government trying to stop Governor Abbott from protecting his state. From literally and you might as well say an enemy that has overrun that country. They're thieves, they're stealing, and they're raping, and they're murdering, and you don't know who's where, who's what, you don't know. And they're saying 11 million. Oh, honey, and they passed 11 million like they were standing still. Which most of them, all they got to do is they're just standing in line, and they're just waving them through because that's the law. That's the law they made, and they've been trying to figure this out. The Ukraine bill. I watched some of the Senate yesterday. They're calling it. There's supposed to be an aid package to the border, particularly to do something with the border, which had been straightened out. It was fine until Biden on his first day said, "Come on, everybody, get on this side." I guess they figured, okay, well, we'll get these guys to vote. I don't know. Don't they even understand that the vote isn't by the people? Oh, yes, yes. I'm sorry. The vote is reflected by what the people voted for, by their elected officials at the Electoral College to put in the vote that you put in somehow. Um, I mean, and that's when you think maybe my education wasn't so good after all because I get none of that. Like I understand now my daddy, when he got his check, would get more and more angry because it was like every 6 months they were hitting him with a new tax. And we were poor. There was no, I mean, they hadn't been getting a check for adopting me and my sister which was a new program landed us on Parade magazine front cover. I mean, you should have seen our friends coming back from vacation, running at us with the paper, and my mom's friends. I mean, like it was like a block party. It was, and I didn't want to cooperate. And Chuck, my brother, he didn't want to cooperate. And I'm not sure about my sister. Never was. She was a little loopy, and I miss all of them. I love them very much, and they know that too. But again, it's amazing, and time passes so quick. And again, you get up there, you say, "Well, what am I going to talk about today?" And you're like, "I don't know, but just talk." The stiffener helps quite a bit. I've always said anybody's funny if you've had 4 shots. The janitor can get up there and make you laugh by mopping the floor. So this is always off the cuff because until I actually get an idea of what people want, what they uh, want to talk about, or what they want to see, then well, I can drop that in if that's necessary. I see a lot of podcasters that are just like me. They get up there and they talk about what current events, what else you going to talk about, and you can't make that up. You're just like, come on, this can't be happening. And this stuff is always making me crazy here. I'm backwards, and so I'm trying to. I am a little blonde here. I don't never get that right. I was like, oh no. But again, it's for entertainment purposes only. I believe I'll be here all week anyway. I'm going to give it a good shot. I wanted to see any of my other hippies. I always have live chat in. Um, if you throw a comment in there, I will get to you. I promise. I need y'all to hit that like button. I mean, hit that puppy. Hit that little bell. Subscribe. It's free. You can get rid of it in 30 seconds if you don't like it. Or, it's not something that's going to rack up if you don't want it to. Um, I enjoy I enjoy this medium. I'm an old woman. I mean, I started out to learn to be a secretary, and I still can do shorthand, which wasn't necessary after I was like 18. Right? Yeah, do that anymore. It's kind of like these guys don't have to do cursive, but they're supposed to know how to write their names. So I'm just, I was one of those moms who stayed at home or worked really, worked 2 jobs or be working 2 jobs in college. And maybe my son used to feed me as I came through. I mean, definitely latchkey kid was not illegal. You didn't even think twice about it. You couldn't afford somebody to watch him if they got 5 or 6 years old or 7, whatever it was. And I have a great kid. And he always took care of mom. And he still does. If I go to his house, he makes mom's plate for her and everything because he knows what mom's going to do anyway. So he's very good at doing all of that. And it's like I said, you wake up and you go, it's what year? Uh, Anybody? Oh, couldn't be. And then you see the mirror, and of course that mirror went too. It's like, no, I got rid of those. Gotta go. I'm not doing electronic money. That would be a great subject. If anybody wants to pop in on that sucker, I had touched on it for just a minute. I think that'd be fun for if people don't like you and they've got that button. You suddenly got nothing. Really, everybody want that? Is that ever a good idea to anybody out there? Nobody, huh? Mm. Good to know I have good company. I have seen people with these chips. Sweden, I think it was. I was looking at. They're in line just to get there, and they're all excited. I'm like, what in God's name did they tell you that made you so excited to be a bio code or whatever? A barcode. I give it. I say bio because in my head they got DNA and everything, but but you're just now. You were anyway. Just a number, but now you're a marked number. And I don't think the whole Bible is something one can throw out. I think, for one, it's a great history tool. Like Rabbi Gita, all these, Tibet area, everywhere that was able to keep some of their history written down. Which, considering, the Sumerians were a fascinating read. I'll tell you that's been Zachariah Sitchin. I would get every one of his books if I were y'all. I also tell everybody if you're going to buy a book, buy the book. because if you just Kindle it, um, they don't get the money. The author does not get any. They don't get paid if you Kindle their book. They only get paid if you buy the actual book. So and I had been reading on Kindle. My son had set it up for me because he and I both read a lot. We like science fiction, and I'm a published author myself. And yeah, it's like Lord of the Rings kind of. And it was a prelude to. I was going to do a trilogy, and I didn't have enough of a show out, or buy out, whatever buy up, just to create a stir. I don't think any of us even saying that. But I feel good about it. I did what I wanted to get done. Nothing off the bucket list. And Robert was very supportive about all that. And it's good if you have somebody at your back sometimes. It's like the podcast. Today's the 20th one. Will I get a whole bunch of folks on there? I don't know. I hope so, but I don't know. And that's the fun stuff about this is you can be out there, and when somebody stumbles across and they're just like you and they talk about the same things, then they're going to leave a comment. I hope, you know, go in there and put me question mark. I don't care. Like, put in there, who the heck are you? What are you talking about? Talk about a Bible, and I'll come back at you. Which Bible? When does civilization start? Things like that. I know all that. You know all that. And I'd like for us to talk about it rather than the pinheads, the head of the archaeological departments, when they're not busy hiding like giant bones or whatever. The Smithsonian is very complicit in what was found at the Grand Canyon. And the poor man that found it reported it to the newspaper. And of course, Smithsonian worked for the Smithsonian. Suddenly he died. Well, I won't say died because they don't know what happened to him. His name was Mr. Kincaid, is all I've seen. So I don't know his full name is given, but he's Mr. Kincaid. And he was an explorer at that time and had found, I think they've talked about it now, but I'll make a short speech on it to try. He found the cave, and once he went in, he found miles of room after room filled with things from Egypt, Africa, India. Like there's a big Buddha there. Next to that's a mummy case, this kind of thing. And here's a menorah. It was like all of Europe crowded into all these caves. And where did it come from? Who said that? There were hieroglyphics. There was, this type of thing. I believe that they even found cuneiform in there, but I'm not. Nobody is sure. It's what Mr. Kincaid said he found and had reported to the Smithsonian, and I'm sure, was probably told to shut up after that before they could even get to him, because back then it took a little while. Early 1900s, I think it was. Might have been late 1800s, but I'm pretty sure it was 1900s. So the government took that stuff. It's like Area 52. I mean, Area 51, rather. You're not going to get in there. You don't know where they got it. That's why they're out there in the open. Just watch this hand, see what this was doing. You don't even know this was moving. You don't even know it's there. And they've done what they wanted to do. And they've kept you in the dark and actually quite stupid. At least I'm angry about the fact that they did not tell me a lot of stuff. I thought, like I said, I had a good education. And it turns out the better education I got, besides life, was, looking into it yourself, just like here. Uh, Bouncing off somebody else, the library, you get all this stuff. You don't just take somebody's word for it, but we did. That's the educational system now, that free one. Excuse me. And so, yeah, you do all of that for them. You don't realize it, though. I've seen lately, Gary, Indiana's gone. Detroit's been gone. San Francisco's been gone. Tent cities, not my allergies. And this is in America. Anybody else show hands get that? I don't get it. They're still calling them sanctuary cities. Like, didn't we fight a civil war about that mess? Didn't somebody win? That's when they started using the term United States. Before that, you never had that. It was America. And they should still go with that. The United States is when they came out, the Civil War. If you're going to take a country out, what would be the easiest way to do that? What would you do? What does anybody? You've seen other cities and countries attacked by this person or that person. Well, who did it? It was somebody who lived there. Somebody murdered there. Somebody. I call them sleepers. I don't care what anybody else calls them. It's a term that means they're going to come out of the closet at some point and kill innocent people as many as they can. And that's the bottom line, folks. That's and they demonstrated that on October 7th. We think 9/11 was bad, or we think 10/7 was bad. And I think it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. I've seen, just like the weather, I think, the weather patterns of things. When Jesus was asked, how will we know you're going to return? Or that you're about to come back? And it was, no man knows the hour of my return, no, not the angels, even just God. And so when you think, and don't go to the false church. Which one's the false church? Anybody? Yeah, I can't figure that out. I've been checking that out for 60 odd years. Can't figure that out either. No, I'm a voracious reader, read everything I can get my hands on. Am I confused? Yes. Do I believe some of it? Yes. Do I believe all of it? No. There's more than enough evidence here to prove, I think, that there was another civilization on this planet. Major league civilization. Now they're finding, of course, the pyramids all over the world, and that didn't come out until I was too old to go there to see it. And some of them, they say, no, it's not a pyramid. You know it's a pyramid. You see it's a pyramid. Like, you can't go to Antarctica now. Well, you never could after Admiral Byrd went, and they limped back. These guys took a battle group flotilla to the Antarctic. Now, I don't know why they would do that. This is just at the end of the World War II. And they take this huge flotilla and they go off to Antarctica. And he supposedly is out in his plane checking over Antarctica from where they're at. And his plane controls are taken over as he's brought into this huge cave-like system. And he's not flying the plane, somebody else is. Somebody's taken everything over. He can't do anything. And it goes in. It's a beautiful world underground. And then his plane is parked, and there's some beings standing there, and they're not human, and they're saying welcome, kind of thing, telepathically, so forth and so on. When he came, and by the way, I think they went further after that, but anyway, they called that place Agartha. It's what he called it, and it was huge. It was way beyond us in technology and so forth and so on. And they were telling him they needed to make sure that we didn't use atomic weapons anymore, because if we did, then they were going to have to attack us, and we wouldn't have made it. So they didn't want to do that. So that's what they told Mr. Admiral Byrd. And he was told when he got back, shut the hell up. Sounds like our military, doesn't it? Yeah, that's the way it is. How do I know the story? Because he left it in his journal, and when he passed on, whoever got this information also passed it on. Did anybody listen, really? Yeah, not really. The other thing that happened while they were out there, and some people did talk about this, there were a few whistleblowers that got it off their chest before they passed. They were attacked by Nazis, but they were in craft that had never been seen, and nothing they had could touch it. These beams were coming out and cutting ships in half. Hundreds of men died. Hundreds. Might have been even 1,000. I'm not sure how many went. So he ended up leaping back with maybe half the fleet that he took. And we're all not supposed to go to Antarctica. I don't suppose anybody questioned that. I haven't heard that they had. But you can have an experimental station on there to get ice drills so that you can date Antarctica. Okay. Well, that shouldn't take that long. So how comes, you got like 75 years in there since Admiral Byrd went, and you've only got experimental stations that just drill cores. I don't get that. But they already get that when little female scientist said she found a rock, of course, and it was a Mars rock. And they had a big conference, and Mr. Clinton there, another one I have a lot of respect for. I fear. Said, oh, it was a big thing. We have a Mars rock. We got. How the hell do you know you got a Mars rock? I mean, was it there a note on there? I've asked that forever. How do you know that was a rock from Mars? How do you know that? I mean, I wasn't that great in science, maybe, but I never heard about that. I never heard we could say this rock came from here and this. Nobody told me that when I was in science. So again, I say I think I got a good education, but you go, you can't make this stuff up. Just and the situation along the southern border, as I touched on, is still going, hand over heels. God only knows what's going to happen next. These people look, and the thing to me is also we all need to get our taxes done pretty quick. April's coming up, and those 11 million illegal aliens need some help. Got to get their taxes done. Might just be me though. I hope not. It's like what? I had these conversations in the 70s and 80s. And when we didn't have this, and this is why I like this medium, and I'm hoping to meet others of like minded through this medium because it's awesome. We always got together back in the days where Nintendo was brand new. So we used to have what we called Nintendo parties. Everybody brought their Nintendo set and a TV, and we all had Nintendo playoffs. This was fun when we were 20. I'll never forget. My son had to hook his own up. He was like 3. It was like, here, mom, now you can play. And this is the same kid. I mean, he was so cool. I would throw a kegger, maybe 20 kegs there. And in particular, one house was on the corner, is big, had the closed-in screened front porch, and had a bank across the street. So and it was massive. So you had plenty of parking room. And we had asked them for permission, so even they and the police knew, that this is what's going on here. That, it's not people shooting or nothing. It's just a party with some beer. But and I thought it was funny, but I used to get tickets, and I had a little stamp, and my son would stamp their hand and give them a ticket, and a halftime ticket, just like the movie theaters did. If you got to go somewhere, bring that back. It was for Snickers. We just had fun with it. So he was at the door. He was my bouncer. So yes, the 80s were way fun. That's why I said I think especially my grandkids, I think they've been cheated of a lot. Um, Especially the childhoods. And then again, then they didn't even get to graduate yet. They could go and protest for 200,000 people with that mask, but you couldn't go and graduate with your friends after 4 years. You couldn't do that. No, we'll make it the defunct. There ain't no double standard there. No, that's just me. I know there are other people like me that have seen these things and are going, what the, you know, how many horsemen, referring maybe to Revelation, is probably out that too. Although the Leave Behind book series, people should read that. If you haven't read your Bible, there's I think 28 books. I have them. Uh, get the Left Behind series, maybe one at a time, but get the actual book. Uh, it's it's so right. I put it that way, like George Orwell's. They hit right on the head. And if you're not, I don't like to be preached at by anybody. I don't know somebody just says they're a priest, but you can't translate what this verse means to me. You can't explain to me why it's okay. It says the 10th commandment or 5th commandment or whatever. Thou shalt not kill. Okay, so the special people are supposed to go over here and kill every Canaanite, rest the land, and take all. What? Thou shalt not kill. Didn't you just kill a planet? Yeah, I heard this thing about a flood. So, yes, I'm a smart ass. So, but if you don't want to sit there and try to understand 15 different Well, there's a lot more than that. But in organized religion, you got like 200. So instead of going through all of that, my advice to anyone is to read the Left Behind series. To actually, I would buy the book. Don't do the Kindle thing again. The only person that makes money there is I don't know, maybe it's Amazon, but the author doesn't get the money. It's not right. But that if you read that, or even just watching, I think there's two movies or three for that. Left Behind something, and Tribulation, I think, and they were well done. But if just read the first book, and after you read the first book, you already have the second book coming. I promise you, you will. It's the best thing to that's been written that I've found to make things make sense. Um, yeah, you do believe in God. We all do. We say, "Oh, we're an atheist." No, we're not really. I call them genie wishes because when something goes wrong, you're like, "Oh God, please help." We all do that. I know we do. I'm not. I know God. You say in the back of your mind, God does not have time to look down here and see what a stupid ass is doing up there. Ain't got the time for all that. You picture in your head, and you're like, "No, it's not going to work. It's not going to work." Yeah. Mm. Well, I think we've exercised a bit of the everything and anything. Throw those comments in there, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to. It's free. Um, Again, I will be here all week. Sometimes I'll throw a broadcast on Sundays, and I'm trying to find the right time because I know people don't have the time to watch it live. For many, for not everybody maybe, but for many people cannot watch it live. They're at work. I know too that you can watch this on your phone, but you're at work. I've carried a phone. My husband made me carry a phone since 1990. Swear to God. Swear to God. And I hated him. I didn't want a computer. He made me get one. He didn't actually make me, he just went and got it. Because I had to use them where I worked. And I had to order them and, you know, all that stuff. And that was back in the day, did you unplug it? You plug it back in. So a long time back. But he would get it, and then I'm off. I can do my accounting and print it and do what I want in it. Of course, he convinced me. I didn't want a microwave, so a pre-wedding gift was a microwave. And you just couldn't argue with him because he's going to show up and give it to you anyway. So I always had a cell phone. I always had a cell phone. And finally, and I think it was 95 or 96, I said, dude, we're paying two phone bills because we both carry a cell. And of course, they charged you out the yin yang back then days. And I was like, we're paying $50 a month and we haven't made a phone call. You could get the sheet, let me show you. You didn't make a phone call. Hey, you didn't get any phone calls on that number. So you don't need this thing no more. So for a while, I had like 20 rotary phones, and as it progressed, I kept all the phones for that too. I remember getting the first one and running out in the yard. Can you still hear me? Yeah, that lasted like 6 months, and I think right after that, they came out. Everybody had cell phones. And in 2010, of course, was the smartphone release. But I like my droids. I don't think anything should cost me $2,000, especially a freaking phone. I mean, literally, that's what I use my phone for. I answer it. It's a phone. Yeah, I know it's a little mini computer. I'm not doing all that. I got these big screens for a reason. I'm old and I can't see. Ah, I really hate to say, okay, well, we got to go, but we do have to go. And again, if you guys can see me at any time, if you see, I'm trying to throw them in on Facebook as well. Hit the like button for me. Again, I'm still pushing numbers here. I need that to go up. They like those numbers higher. And I'm the old hippie, so I'm not probably going to get, those 4 million views because you know, I'm sure there are others that are doing much better than I am, deserve to be doing better. I chose to do this because, again, it's a social media and it's one-on-one. It's right now. I always have it when I stream live. I have live chat. So if you get on there, I can call you out. I can talk to you. If you don't want to be known, you don't have to be known. You can come on anonymously, but the point is we can't all do this together. And again, I call it a social Woodstock. The fun I can have with this, I think that we all can have with this, and I've seen others like myself do this. Excuse me. I don't want to again use a lot of people's clips. It's like plagiarism to me. And I could say it if we're doing a discussion, or say how many pyramids or how many sides does the Great Pyramid have. I love that question. That's always fun. Or biblically, how if Kate slew Abel, and God had to mark him. How come? Because there wasn't supposed to be anybody else alive. So, yeah, they like those kind of questions at church, any church. Yeah, I have a few questions besides the do not kill it. Yeah. So, yeah, and whatever happened to all that stuff anyway? During that, it's supposed to have disappeared during the diaspora and the other 12 tribes. And it clearly states, both in the Torah and whatever they've done to the several Bibles we have, that it's got to have a Messiah come back. For the Muslims, it's the Mahdi. Uh, you know, So somebody's supposed to come back. So does that mean we all should believe in reincarnation? Is there any proof of reincarnation? Yes, there's proof of reincarnation, for God's sake. It's the 21st century. Read a book. All of this stuff is going on. We have spontaneous fires breaking out, huge flames that what looked to me to be the concrete. And I've not heard anybody explain that one. I know there's a bunch of mudslides, and they had more rain coming. And we had the blizzards that everybody went through over in the north and northeast. And thank God I'm down here where it's pretty much summer all the time. And I'm upset because it was 36 this morning. I was like, I don't like it if it's below 62. Like, there's a reason they call it the Peach State. We really generally have fairly good weather, although we do have some. I got to admit, I've been through 3 earthquakes in this state, and I think 5 tornadoes now have come across my property, and yet left the house vaguely alone anyway, enough to where you could still be there. Because I have seen whole houses taken out. Everybody has, and with this new media that everybody has too, which even it surprises me that I actually want to do it, because, like I said, my husband had to make me take a computer and a phone and all these things, and yet here I am. This is what I wanted to do. This is what I asked everybody for Christmas, was the equipment to do these podcasts, and my son steps right into that, and so did my husband. So everything's ready to go. And I want to remind everybody again at the 19th, I'm hoping to have my granddaughter. She wants to be interviewed on broadcast. So I'm hoping that if you see that live, or even later, if you would like, because I'm sure she'll be tickled and she'll tell her friends and so forth. And so I'm hoping we get at least a few likes for the granddaughter. But for today, I don't see there's anything in my time. I don't have to do anything right now except have to say goodbye, of course. And all of you are going to, what's taking you so long? I crack myself up. It's a good thing, really. And again, I'm still saying I tried to go for that mentor, right? They would not buy it. They got to pay you if you got. I'm sorry. I gotta go. I miss all of everybody. I can't wait to meet anybody and everything. Get on here. Come and talk to me at the bar. And in the meantime, go out there, try to have some fun, stay out of trouble, and have a great day. You're much appreciated, all of you, whether I've talked to you or not. Bye, everybody.